Okay, and start with a couple moments of zazen. Let the day wash through us. We open into clarity. Let things go on the out breath. Hands on the lap. We'll start with rotations with the torso. And other way. And we go a little further if we use our hands for support. So noticing the stretch and opening in every part of the body as we go around. And then consciously participate and encourage in a very holistic way for those parts to open even further as much as they're able and willing to. And we'll roll the shoulders, exploring full range of motion. Other way. And alternating rolls. The spinal waves, starting from the center moves forward, followed by the rest of the spine. And then roll forward, rotate the hips forward, and the vertebrae of the spine follow one at a time. So if I were to turn sideways, get a different view. So center goes forward, followed by the rest of the spine. And we can go the other way as well. The lower back goes back, send the center back, followed by the spine. Roll back. One vertebrae at a time. And then sideways, spinal wave sideways. So send the hip this way, followed by one bone at a time. And the neck. And center and up. And arm swings. And you can shift the weight from sit bone to sit bone. And get a little extra turn. And then we can keep those arms swinging as we slowly come up. Standing swing. Make sure those knees are bent. Hang the tailbone. The arms pull the shoulders right down. Then we get a little extra turn by coming on the ball of the foot. Make sure the leg that you move on to, that knee is bent. Release the abdomen. Get a little turn in the neck. And coming back to light horse stance. Clasp the hands. Nice knee bend. Flooring vertical circles. Using those legs and hips. Bigger and bigger circle. And then continuous circles. And the other way. And then laterally to the side. Other side. And then complete circle. And other way. Good. And relaxed arm swing forward and back. And then into Manuchi with the turn. Good. Okay. Well, let's go into a good review of the 8th Q program. Let me know if you have any questions at any point. Well, we start with actually further down the program, with a couple of the movements and techniques we didn't get to the last few classes. And then we can go to the top again and come down. So, Ukami, Yoku Otoshi. Okay, so this one we are going from this position here to the Yoku Otoshi position on the other side. Here to here, keeping the head on the chest. And then we progressively throw the lower body in a higher and higher arc. The idea is to land on the other side in the same shape. And timing and slap when we go over. So you're slapping as the body turns over or just before. So you don't want to come over to the side fully and slap back, slap after the fact. So that's breaking that fall, breaking that turn. So that looks like keeping the head on the chest. People sometimes don't go all the way over to the side. They're kind of 3/4 on their back. So it's full yoko, full side. And when you get comfortable with it, you can really throw your lower body in a high arc. And again, you time that slap with the landing of that lower body. Okay. And then Mai Otoshi, front break fall. For this level, we start here. And the position, hands out in a Manuchi position, but it's the flat side, not the blades. So the in position is here. So when I work that in position first, so you're clear with it, and the head turn. So the nose and teeth and jaw are not towards the ground. And the torso is off the ground, the belly is not touching. This is the end position. And so as always with a otoshi, the break fall, you want to spread the impact along as much surface area as possible. So it's from the palm to the underside of the forearm. So you don't want to land on the elbow points. You don't want to land on the heat. You don't want to have your wrists exposed. So you would land, if anything's going to land a little bit first, it's the palms. So everything at the same time, or the palms slightly before the forearms. But not hands first, certainly not elbows first. So you throw those out as you turn the head. So if I were to do one or two of those, I turn my head early, throw my hands out, and I keep my abdomen off the ground. Go ahead and try a few of those. I'll take a look. Okay, that looks good. Along the way, at any point, let me know if you have any questions on any of these or any of the principles that are behind all of these. So if we move on, then we have Ushiro Sugiyashi and then Ushiro Aikido. So let's start with the Sugiyashi. So in an earlier program, as you know, it's front foot offline, turn 45 degrees. So Sugiyashi is just a small step. Or Ayumi is a full step, or switching feet, or actually stepping a full step. So this one is Sugiyashi, but to the rear, Ushiro. So a quick review is that we stay the front stance here, slide back into a back stance. So back here, in position, facing the back foot, half a step, like a cat stance with the foot is flat. So we're evading to the side and back, covering center line. So if I was to do that for a front angle, offline, drawing back to the back diagonal, offline, back, now in the back stance, still covering center line. So it's off and back. Okay, so let's do a few of those together. So offline, right foot to the back corner, slide in the left leg, weights on the right leg. Forward stance in the left leg, offline, slide back. So of course, part of what we're working on is balance and stability as we come into that back stance. If we're top heavy or weight upper side, we're going to have more of a tendency to waver, lose our balance, wobble. Weight upper side, weight underside. And in fact, we want all our weight in our lower body. So it's as if we just exist from here down. So I come offline, I slide step. Can you stay nice and stable? So part of that is the physical balance, weight in the lower body, weight underside, not in the upper body. But the energetic aspect of it is if you have a strong outflow, strong irimi, strong intentional flow, that is a stabilizing factor. In fact, interesting thing is the stronger, faster or stronger you're extending ki, or the clearer, faster, stronger you have a intentional outflow, the more stabilizing factor it is. It's like a rudder or a spinning top. A spinning top that's spinning slowly wobbles. When you can speed up that spinning top, it becomes more and more stable and verticalized. And if it goes faster and faster, in fact, it looks like it's standing there still on the very needle point tip, totally stable. And that stability is dependent upon the speed of the spin. Well, the speed of the spin is your intentional flow. The faster you're moving inside, or the clearer, stronger, faster you're moving mentally, it stabilizes the top. So if I have a strong flow, my body just settles into whatever position I go into. It's settled, stable. If you do stumble, whether because you hit something, you trip over something, or things happen, so you stumble, strong flow has an automatic, natural stabilizing factor. Even if you stumble, fall all the way to the ground, having a strong outflow will protect you, put the body in a better shape, and certainly allow you to recover much faster. So when you do stumble, what happens when people stumble, whether they trip or be pushed, but let's say you just kind of trip over your own feet or you hit a rock or something, what happens when people stumble? Their mind and their energy comes in and up, which just aggravates the situation, right? So if you trip, you become your own worst enemy in a sense. You come in and up, which makes the issue even more of a problem. If I could try to dramatize the situation, the scene, and I stumble, I come in and up, now I can't imagine what happens and feel what happens when I change that. I focus forward. Also, my center drops. It's a nice thing that you can add is you drop your mind, you drop your center and flow forward. But even if you just were able to strongly focus your energy out and forward, that rights things. So if I stumble, I come up, I focus forward. Try this actually if you haven't been already. Go into a full stumble, come up, act like a normal reaction, and don't even try to change anything except your mind, your mental focus strongly forward. You can even do it in slow motion to start with. I stumble, I come up and back, strongly focus forward. I'm righted. So try that slow motion, whoops, falling, coming up, strong focus forward. You can experience the righting of things. Then try it with a little bit more of a closer to an actual speed where you stumble, focus forward. Stumble, strong forward flow. Add a little bit more to that. If I can drop my weight into my core so that my energy is actually dropping and focusing out from here. Stumble, down from here. So I centralize into a big ball here and issue out. Then you're righted not by your upper body being swung forward. That's better than it not happening. But if you just have the mental flow, you might be brought forward by the mental flow of your upper body. That's good. But when you're able to sink, settle, centralize, become this ball, then it's corrected not by bringing your upper body forward, but by bringing the ball back. The ball just rights itself. Even more dynamically stable, centralized. So that's part of what we're working on with movement like this is coming back, of course, you might run into some little issues. So we're developing the strong focus, strong outflow, and that will tend to make the movement more correct and be able to make any adjustments, corrections, much more spontaneous and much more effective way of doing it. So again, when we stumble or hit something unexpected, we tend to get caught up in that. we go to our own focused agenda and has a natural writing effect. Okay, let's do the other side. So Migi Hanmi. So Ushiro Sugiyashi, so right foot off, turn 45 degrees. And then it's Ushiro, so we're sliding to that back corner. So right foot offline, left foot to the back corner. That's a big step. That's the left foot to the back corner. You shift the weight to the back leg, and that's what draws the right foot in a little bit. Starting with the weight on the right leg, slightly. Ushiro Sugiyashi, slide step back. So notice, let me illustrate this a little bit. When you go back, I'll turn slightly so you can see maybe a little better. So offline and back. Notice that when you go back, so offline, when you go back, is there any lurching? So I have to make it big so it's obvious, right? A lurching of the upper body. So when I know I'm going to slide step back and it's going to be a big step, there's a tendency to lurch. And again, the issue is I'm in my upper body, way up. Okay, big slide step back, okay. And there's even that preparatory movement forward and back. Trying to create this big slide step back. It's covering this this large ground. So I want to be hanging from the string, weight here and dropping. And there isn't any preparatory motion, just like there shouldn't be any telegraphing motion when you deliver a strike. Should be no preparatory action, no forerunner action. It's right from where you are, free dynamic movement from wherever you are. So I don't want to sense of, okay, big slide step back, big step back. So that's totally from here down. So when we do this, notice maybe coming offline nicely, if there's kind of a preparatory action for a big slide step back, because we do know we want to cover a lot of ground, move back. So maybe we're, again, lurching, heaving, throwing ourselves around. So we don't want to throw our mass around. We want to be like a ball, just rolls. This is our ball. It's just rolling. So we're not heaving ourselves around. So let's do a couple of those with the count. So we'll do a count of 2. So each is offline and knee is sliding to the back corner. Each, knee. And pause for a moment to self-correct and to assess and to notice your alignment, posture, your feeling. What is your mind doing? Each, knee. Each, knee. Okay, so we're starting. It's Migi Hanmi, right leg forward. So the right knee is bent. The weight is slightly into the right leg, about 60% forward. Each, knee. Okay, let's do the whole move on 1 count. Each. Knee. Stop. Eat. So if we do a few more, I'll take a look. Oh. Roke. Hut. Cool. Okay, that's very, very good. All of you, that's very, very good. So you guys are ready for the next level where I release the lions. Okay, I'll be the lion. So I'm gonna come towards you. I'll start slow. So there is now an aspect and dimension of timing. And in your imagination, distance as well. So you have to kind of play with it, of course, to kind of get a sense of when you want to move. But just to put this in a little bit more of an active dynamism in your feeling. So as I come in, you come offline here, slide back, and all of you are keeping really good extension and posture. Everything's really, really good. All aspects of that movement, from the movement itself to the shape, transporting that shape, all of it's excellent. So now when there's a person coming in, when you come offline, you can maybe imagine, feel that perhaps your hand is even touching their arm. So as they come in, if you go off to this back corner to start with, your hand is touching or almost touching that line, that arm. So here we go. I'll just come slow to start with. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, I'm going to come a little bit swifter. So tune into the timing. Notice if you feel, oh, maybe I was a little bit slow or a little bit late rather, or maybe I was a little bit early. So just open the mind, just sense. You can create the reality of this in your mind, and you'll be able to self-correct yourself. Okay, now let's just do a few on the other side as well. So let's go to Hidari Hanmi again. You come offline, back to that back corner, and I'll come towards you while you're working that side. Starting slow. Okay, I'm going to come a little swifter and maybe change the timing of my arms. All that the brain takes in, it's all training. That's good movement. Okay. Now, same movement, but now with a step. So Ayumi-ashi, Ayumi-ashi. So the back foot's going to step up offline, and it's a full step back to that back corner. So if we start in Miki Hanmi, right leg forward, we end up going to the left because the back foot, left foot's going to come offline, and the right foot, big step back, slide back into a back stance into the right leg. Okay, so right leg forward, Irumi Ayumi-ashi, big step back, slide step. Left foot offline, big step back with the right leg, sliding back. Back foot offline, full step back with the front foot. And we'll do that to a count of 2. Each knee. Let your weight sink, have that vertical, very fine vertical axis. The more you flow the mind out, the faster you will flow your mind out, the better spinning top you are. Each knee. So even when you're still at the end, you're still, the body's still, but the energy is not still. The energy is strongly flowing. Each knee. Okay, now let's do that whole movement on 1 count. Each. So not only check your posture at the end and your weight, also check your intentional flow. Is that forming your shape? Is that keeping you stable? The stronger I keep flowing and moving the internal energy, the more stabilizes me. You can feel that at the end. It's like literally like stabilizing rudders. If I'm flowing strongly internally, there's a physical stabilizing effect. So on one count, each. Knee. Up. Chi. Go. Rope. Seats. Hut. That's very, very good. That's excellent. So I'll give you a little bit of dynamic reason to move. Start slow. Good, covering some good ground. Really good. So I'll be changing the speed. Flying headbutt. Might have got you there, Bonnie. But could be a delay. It could be a delay on this side. So okay, one more. Very nice. Yeah. So Bonnie, that was really good timing. So let's do the other side. We'll just break down the other side slowly first. So hidari, hidari kamai. So left leg forward, left leg bent. So right foot comes offline. Big step back with the left foot, slide back, weights in the left leg, back leg. We're starting with the left leg forward, offline with the back leg, big step back with the front foot, sliding back. Physically integrated and aligned and vertical, energetically being that spinning top, flowing that energy out really strong, really fast. So on a 2 count, each, knee. Each, knee. Each, knee. Okay, so that whole move on 1 count. Starting a good forward stance, start with each. Even as you're stationary at the end, you are not stationary inside. Flowing outside is still, inside is moving very vibrantly, like an inner river, just coursing really strong. Physically still, but internally very fluid and very flowing. Knee. Up. Chi. Go. Go. Seat. Touch. Nice. Okay, so I'll come towards you. Yes. Like get you sleeping? Hopefully not. That could work too. If you laugh in their face, that might work. That could work.
Laugh, yeah.
Buckle dough. Okay, so Lonnie, do you have any, is there anything on the program in particular that you might feel you want to work more on?
Well, the one that I need to practice, I think the most is the walking, the backwards walking. Ushiro Shiko.
Chico, yes.
That's the one that's, yeah, it's just hard to get.
Okay, let's just touch upon that. So that's, and it might be helpful to start with just having your hips, not even using your arms, just emphasizing the swiveling, turning of your hips without coming up. And then you apply the hands. So a strong turn of the hips, which is really strong intention, using your intention very strongly. Yeah, go ahead and let's have a look. Strong intentional turn. Have the fingertips pointed up slightly. Looks good, looks good. Okay, let's wind down. Isogi. Vertical, centered, weighted, expanding. Mind and breath expand out. Therefore, the body follows. Bring the mind back, body follows. Let the weight sink and settle as you breathe out. Opening, expanding, vibratory feeling, breathing in, settling, grounding, consolidating energy, breathing out. And settled. Let's bow out. Domo arigatou gozaimasu.